All right, DW Gaming here with the latest news from Dead by Daylight. There is a new killer and new survivor coming out. Most likely at the end of November, beginning of December. This was a complete surprise. I don't know if they mentioned anything about a new killer and new survivor in the roadmap. Honestly, right off the bat, there's a lot to unpack here, but right off the bat, I wish they would just put a halt to new content and do a general health update for the game. I think that is much more necessary. It's much more important than releasing yet more content. I mean, health updates for games don't make the companies money, but at this point the game is so buggy and there's so many problems with it, they need to do something to address these issues. But no, they're just chugging along, trying to come out with stuff that they think people will spend money on. I am not spending any money on this new chapter because this killer and the survivor, they both look completely ridiculous. The killer is, I'm going to be completely blunt and honest, the killer is absurd looking. She's not scary at all. You can see here. I mean, there's nothing scary about her. She's no threat level at all to me. It's like you're being chased by an overweight woman. It's not scary, I would say they should focus more on the monsters. If they're going to make original killers, make them monsters. Stop making ordinary looking humans. I've never been impressed by any of the original killers they released, like Legion. Plague is not impressive. Clown is not impressive at all. Twins, they've all been Skull Merchant. They've all been really, really miserable designs and just not scary at all. And this one is follows in that same tradition. None of those killers are appealing to me. Fortunately, this is an original chapter. So if there's like a tome challenge for the new survivor, the new killer, I'll have to get them in order to complete the tome. But I can use the in-game currency. I don't have to actually spend money on this garbage. And it's just absolutely absurd. I mean, basically her power is she sends out a dog to capture survivors, to like hinder them. I don't think it actually injures the survivors. So number one, her power is very, I don't know what's with the dog things. I mean, they had Dracula in wolf form. Now they have an actual killer who uses a dog. So I don't understand what their obsession is with like canine killers now. I mean, why didn't they come out with, what was it, Cujo? I mean, rather than this, I mean, I don't know. So yeah, this is, I've just, my honest reaction is like, this is lazy. This is not inspired at all. This is not anything unique, I should say. Yeah, her power is different, but I don't know if it's, I mean, as I said, they could have just come out with a pure dog killer. They don't even need the human. Just make the killer the animal. Just something different. I mean, she's just a normal human, and it's very lazy. as usual. She looks absolutely ridiculous too. Her hair makes her look like one of the Coneheads from Saturday Night Live. It's just, I don't know. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw her. I'm like, oh, she's a Conehead. Yeah, and the new Survivor is not much better. The new Survivor, I don't know. She looks like that girl from Stranger Things. The one who had like the telekinetic powers or something. And it's like they made her look like, badass. But when in reality, these people are supposed to be scared out of their wits because they're in this situation where they're being sacrificed and then resurrected over and over and over. And it's like, she looks like Sarah Connor 2.0 or something, the way they gave her all these this look, and then the fact that her attitude is like, oh yeah, I'm ready to fight. And it's like, and it kind of goes along with them giving survivors like blast mine and flash grenade and all these weapons now they can use against killers. It destroys any kind of immersion you would have in the game, because you're basically fighting back against the killer, which is not something a direction they should be going. But there's definitely a lot to unpack here, so let's go through this. Oh, the chase music for the killer is also completely absurd. I mean, it sounds like the music you would hear at a ride on Disneyland, not music you would expect to be you'd expect to hear running from a homicidal maniac. It just sounds absolutely ridiculous. There'll be a sample that you can hear in the background. It's just, yeah. This 8.4.0, this news chapter, looks like a complete and total letdown. At this point, I wish it would just stick to licensed killers, because they can't really screw those up that much. This is yeah. So, new killer, the Houndmaster, very lame moniker. She has, of course, 3 perks. Let's go over her power first. Scent of blood. The Houndmaster and her dog operate as one. Not from the footage I've seen. The dog is very janky. Her commands are followed without question or delay. The special ability chase. The chase command sends the dog out at high speed. Pressing the power button again redirects the chase, pivoting the dog's path. When the dog catches a survivor, the dog starts a grab. The survivor becomes hindered and is pulled towards the killer. The survivor can get free by stunning the dog or can be rescued by another survivor. So we're beating up dogs now in this game? Is that what behaviors, the direction they're going? Grabs that end without injury leave the survivor hindered. Grab duration is shorter for survivors with the endurance status effect. Yeah, the dog doesn't actually injure them. It's like, sounds like a version of Pinhead with the chains. Which, why would you play this killer if you can just play Pinhead, who has built-in slowdown with his box? Special ability search. The search command sends a dog to a target location, creating a search path. It has its own lullaby, and as it moves, the hound sense radius rises over distance traveled. Survivors who enter the radius are affected by hound sense and revealed by killer instinct. If the Houndmaster follows the dog's search path, she gains increased movement speed over time. Leaving the search path ends the bonus movement speed. So she's like the dog is like one of Knight's guards, apparently, I guess. But it doesn't actually chase them. It just tracks them and gives you killer instinct. This is a very weird and convoluted ability. Do they really need to have another killer with a special power that is overly complicated like this? I mean, it's the reason why I prefer killers like Wesker, Sadako. Their abilities are very basic. They are any killer's ability, like Wraith, even I prefer. It's simple, but you can do different things with it. Like Wraith, you can body block. Wesker, you can do hug tech and different kind of techs with the virulent bound dash. Sadako, you can strategize. You don't need. I mean, on the one hand, they're simple, but also you can play around them and do different things with them. They don't need to be coming out with killers that are like overly complicated for the sake of being overly complicated. It's not a good direction. Special effect, Hound Sense. Healthy survivors affected by Hound Sense receive deep wounds when injured. Injured survivors affected by Hound Sense suffer from louder grunts of pain and longer pools of blood when put into the dying state. Okay. And these are her perks. All Shaking Thunder. After you fall from a height, your lunge attack distance is increased by 75% for 16 seconds. Just get rid of perk tiers. Come on. This perk has a 5-second cooldown. Okay. Sounds like trash. Doesn't sound good at all, really. 16 seconds? That's not very long. If you're chasing a survivor after they fall, you don't need unless they're running balanced landing, you don't need an increased lunge attack distance. You'll get them because they'll stagger and you'll be able to hit them. No problem. If they're running balanced landing, they're going to get away anyway. This won't help. So there's really 16 seconds, a very short amount of time for you to fall off a elevated surface. You're not going to be able to make use of this perk unless you're directly chasing someone. And as I said, if they're not running balanced landing, you're going to get them anyway. This is a very useless perk. You might as well, if you want increased lunge attack distance, just run coup de grace. There's no reason to run this. Scourge Hook, Jagged Compass. 4 random hooks turned into Scourge Hooks. When a survivor is unhooked from a non-Scourge Hook, it becomes a Scourge Hook. When you hook a survivor on a Scourge Hook, the aura of the generator with the most progress is revealed in yellow for 10 seconds. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it kind of encourages the killer to go back to the hook. So in a way, it encourages tunneling. Because the killer's going to be like, okay, I just got a Scourge Hook when that person was unhooked. I got to go back there in order to actually make use of it. It has synergy with the other Scourge Hook perks for sure, because you would, if you were able to down either the survivor who unhooked the survivor that was on the hook, or if you were able to down the survivor who was just hooked in a quick amount of time, it would definitely make getting a Scourge Hook easier. But I feel like it encourages actually tunneling, which, I mean, they really want to go in this direction, apparently, it seems. I have no idea why. No quarter. When a survivor reaches 75% of the self-heal, They are faced with continuous skill checks. If one of those skill checks is missed or the heal is interrupted, the survivor becomes broken for 30 seconds. Wonderful. So now we're punishing survivors who want to heal themselves. I mean, this really irritates me. I know they want to push it towards where survivors have to rely on their teammates for healing. That's not always going to be feasible, though. And my preferred build when playing Survivor is a self-healing build. So this is very irritating. I don't know why they're trying to punish survivors who self-heal. It's as if, I mean, with self-care's nerf and the fact that you can't heal yourself multiple times with med kits, healing yourself with a med kit takes longer now. The fact that they're trying to punish survivors who are trying to be self-sufficient when there's so many other problematic things about Survivor in this game that they could do something about, like all the endurance stats effects for, I don't know how many perks provide endurance effects now. I mean, it's ridiculous. But apparently self-healing is a problem to them. This is a very irritating perk. I don't see it being used, though. I mean, will it be meta? Absolutely not. It's too niche. But I can see killers running an extremely irritating build where this is combined with like chlorophobic and like leverage or sloppy butcher, just to annoy survivors. It's not even something that would necessarily slow the game down, because it only works when the survivor is healing themselves. It's just they're going in the direction of, let's make it as punishing and annoying as possible for survivors to be self-sufficient, which, given the quality of teammates you're matched up with, you often have to be self-sufficient in this game. So this is very irritating. I have no idea why, once again, they're punishing survivors for actually trying to take care of themselves. If teammates were... Survivor players had better teammates, this would be not much of an issue. But for me, it is, because I'm usually always matched up with at least one or two Survivor teammates who, for whatever reason, won't heal me, or I don't know. It's just stop punishing survivors who like to take care of themselves, okay? There's so many other broken Survivor things in this game they could make a perk on the killer side that would affect. This is not necessary. It's very irritating. New Survivor, Tori Kane. Perks. Invocation Treacherous Crow, so another invocation perk. When in the basement near the circle, press ability button 2, takes 60 seconds. You become injured and broken. When a survivor is in the terror radius and the killer scares a crow, their aura is revealed to all survivors for 2 seconds. So... So you're going to be broken the rest of the trial just to give survivors a better object of obsession perk? I mean, I guess, but I don't think it'll be I don't think it'll be worth it. I mean, there are a lot of crows on the map, and this will be going off quite frequently, but it's definitely not a solo queue perk. The other invocation perk, Weaving Spiders, is barely used in solo queue. This one I don't see being used at all in solo queue. So once again, Swift doesn't even need this. So I don't know who this perk is for. Because Swift are just calling out killer positions anyway. They don't need this kind of information. So they won't be using it. And as I said, solo queue is not going to use it. You'd have to be insane if you were a solo queue survivor and you would use this perk. Broken for the rest of the trial just so you can see the killer's aura every few seconds. I mean, yeah, it'll help in loops, but you're one shot. Yeah, this is not. I'll say this. I'm glad it's not another gen perk for Survivor. Clean break. After you finish healing another survivor while being healed by another survivor, press the ability button 1 to become broken. After 60 seconds, you become healthy. I don't think anyone's going to use this either. This is a... So you can interrupt the healing action on yourself to become broken, and then after a minute you become healthy. You better hope the killer doesn't find you within that time. Yeah, I don't... It would be quicker just to be fully healed by another teammate. I suppose it lets that other teammate, work on a gen instead, but it's like if you're broken... As I said, you better hope the killer doesn't find you, because that's a very long time to be broken. I don't see this being used in solo queue. Maybe in Swift. I mean, Swift can abuse all sorts of things in this game, so I don't see this perk really being a problem for Swift. They'll just body block the broken survivor. So yeah, this is another buff to Swift with this perk, which Swift does not need any more perks that are geared towards them. Swift is the most broken thing about this game. Shoulder the burden. Once per trial, as long as you're not on death hook, press the ability button 2 in front of a hook survivor to unhook them. When they are unhooked, they lose 1 hook state and you gain 1 hook state. You also scream and become exposed for 20 seconds. That's not a problem at all. 20 seconds is nothing. This is a very busted perk. I can see this being abused by Swift to a great degree. As I said, Swift does not need any more help in this game. They already break the game as it is. This will not be used in solo queue. No solo queue player in their right mind will trade a hook state for random. So this is a Swift only perk, and they don't need any more perks like this. This is very abusable. I can see this being as a this will make it so Swift is even more unbeatable now. So congratulations, behavior. You've made Swift even more obnoxious. This is very bad. I don't know why they're coming out with perks geared towards Swift. Swift does not need this. It's a very bad direction. I will say this, though. At least none of them are gen perks. But, yeah. Not good. There's a new map on the other side of Mount Ormond. But the map will not be part of the chapter release. Okay, so that'll be coming later. Then they made some improvements to killers. Some improvements, obviously, some nerfs, of course. Features, they've added more effects to the survivor activity HUD, like we needed that. All activities will now surface their progress on the activity HUD. So yeah, you can see the how long before a survivor is healed, stuff like that. A new icon created to differentiate when a survivor is mending or healing. New activity was created to differentiate when a survivor is blessing a totem. Some killer power interactions which were previously missing are now included on the activity HUD. Perks HUD improvement, visual differentiation. I don't think that doesn't sound correct. Visual difference between a perk being temporarily unavailable from being disabled completely. First time implementation for new invocation perk. Okay. Characters bio pages, re-added power and perks previews on bio page. Store featured page main carousel that can also display bundles. Featured page bundle widget. It's now a carousel that shows bundles and collections. All right. So killer updates. There is a lot here. The Dark Lord base kit. Increased shapeshift cooldown to 3.5 seconds was 2.5. Yeah, we knew Dark Lord was getting a nerf. I'm sure his kill rate is astronomical. It's because he's a new killer. It's not because he's overpowered. People, when he first came out, and still to a certain extent, don't know how to go against him. I mean, calm down behavior. These aren't warranted. Vampire form, increased Hellfire cooldown to 10 seconds with 7. Yep. It's not even that good of an ability. Wolf form, increase the spawn rate of scent orbs to 1 every 5 seconds was 1 every 6. Okay, that's a buff. Decrease wolf's pounce charge time to 0.85 seconds was 1. Okay, that's a buff as well. So wolf form got a little bit of love, not really anything noticeable. These nerfs, however, are very noticeable, especially Hellfire. Like I said, is not that good. It's a worse version of Punishment of the Damned. Didn't really need these nerfs. Could be worse, I suppose. Demogorgon base kit. The decreased portal setting time to 0.85 seconds was 1. Decreased portal entry time to 1.35 seconds was 1.5. Increase upside down travel speed to 28 meters per second was 20. So these are straight buffs, which is good. I would still give him the ability to cycle through his portals. Like if he wants to destroy a portal to place another one, give him that ability. Otherwise, once he sets all his portals, that's it. He can't, unless the survivors close them, he can't put any more portals anywhere. So, but they don't think like that, apparently. It's too intensive coding job, maybe. Who knows? They've changed some add-ons. Viscous webbing increases the sealing time of portals by 10%, was 16%. Why? Why are they nerfing this? Thorny Vines increases the area effect of active portals by 1 meter, increases the sealing time of portals by 8%, was 11%. Why are they nerfing these? These add-ons weren't very good to begin with. Increases the sealing time of portals by 20%. Upside down resin, it was 28. They don't need to be nerfing these. What's going on here? Lifeguard whistle reveals survivors near active portals without charging of the abyss removed. That's a huge nerf. Increases the number of portals by 2. I mean, that's good, but that's a huge nerf to lifeguard whistle. one of the nice things about it, you wouldn't have to actually charge your power to be alerted if there were survivors near active portals. It was a very nice... It was like a quality of life add-on. Unless they're going to make it base kit. But it says nothing about that. I don't know why they removed it. That was like it was like one of my go-to add-ons with this killer, because I wouldn't have to slow myself down by charging his ability. I would just know if someone's near the portal. I mean, you'll know either way. It's just that if you have to charge your ability to reveal that information, it slows you down. It's why are they removing quality of life things that they should be adding as base? I don't understand that at all. Ghostface base kit. Decreased Night Shroud's recovery cooldown to 17 seconds was 20. That's a buff. Decreased time to mark survivors 4.5 seconds was 5. Why are we buffing the most annoying things about Ghostface? They should do something about his reveal mechanic. Because honestly, when I play Ghostface, it feels like I'm revealed all the time. Yet when I play against Ghostface as Survivor, I could be looking directly at that jerk and nothing would happen. So they really need to do something about the reveal mechanic. I don't know why we're making him more annoying to go against now. I mean, yeah, he's a weak killer except for the reveal mechanic. The reveal mechanic is very inconsistent. Add-ons. Philly decreases the time to mark survivors by 10%. Was 20. Yeah, they've obviously adjusted it. Walleye's Matchbook decreases Night Shroud's recovery time by 3 seconds. Was 6. Okay, yeah. Still, the reveal mechanic needs reworking. It's just horrible. Horribly inconsistent. The Good Guy base kit decreases the scamper time to 1 second. Was 1.3. I have no idea what that means. I don't play this killer that much. When you would scamper under a pallet, I guess it decreases the time you have to launch the slice and dice. I don't know. I don't know. If someone knows about this, feel free to leave a comment, because I have no idea what this change means. Increases Hidey-Ho cooldown. Hidey-Ho mode's cooldown to 12 seconds was 10. So they've made it so you get Hidey-Ho less often, which is, I mean, yeah. I think Chucky's a very contentious killer right now. The fact they got Hidey-Ho back so often is, a bit of a problem. I don't play him. I find him to be very frustrating to play, since he is a 110 movement speed killer. I generally don't like playing those killers. Good Guy add-ons. Rat Poison decreased range to 6 meters was 12. So this is when you, I think it's when you hit. No, when you perform a slice and dice, you see the aura of nearby survivors. Yeah, we knew this was going to get a nerf, because there are many, many Survivor players in the community complaining about this. And to an extent, it's justified, because it pretty much gives you a free hit at for the most part. at a tile that you wouldn't otherwise normally get a hit because there'd be like a tall wall or something. Still, I don't know. I don't play as killer. So, decrease the duration of rat poison to 2.5 seconds was 5. If anyone, like any Chucky main who wants to leave a comment, let me know if these changes are good or bad. I would appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm kind of indifferent to these changes. The Lich base kit. Yeah, the Lich has a lot going for him. Let's see what they did. Decrease the spelling sphere's cooldown to 35 seconds was 38, so that's a buff. Decrease Flay of the Dam's cooldown to 35 seconds was 38, that's a buff as well. Decrease Fly's cooldown to 25 seconds was 38. Wow, that's a big buff. Increase Mage Hand's cooldown to 40 seconds was 38. Okay, it's a bit of a nerf. Increase the cooldown after canceling a spell to 1.25 seconds was 1. Okay. It's a nerf. Decrease the time Dispelling Spear disables magic items to 45 seconds was 60. That's a nerf. Yeah, Lich has a lot going for him. I don't think he really needs any significant buffs. Maybe a few nerfs. So this looks okay to me. His add-ons Pearl of Power decreases the cooldown of all spells by 3 seconds after a successful basic attack was 5 seconds. Okay, that's a bit of an... No, that's a buff. Yeah, that's a buff. Okay. Ring of Spell Storing decreases the cooldown of all spells by 2 seconds was 4 seconds. That's another buff. I don't think he needs these buffs. I think he's fine. I would think he needs a little bit of a nerf because he does have a lot in his kit to work with. But I don't play his killer all that much anyway. Once again, very overly complicated killer that doesn't... I mean, if you enjoy those kind of killers, that's fine. I don't, personally. I enjoy the more simple killers that you can, with skill and actually getting good with their abilities, you can do different things with. But these type of killers that are just overly complicated, I don't enjoy playing them. So I would give him a little bit more of a nerf. Mastermind base kit. This always has me nervous. Decrease Virulent Bounds cooldown to 5.5 seconds was 6, so that's a little bit of a buff. It's like 0.5 seconds. It's not really that much, but it's something. I'll take it. Mastermind add-ons, leather gloves. They decrease the Virulent Bounds cooldown by 8% was 10, so they've adjusted because they've made the part of it base kit, it looks like, which is good. I mean, it does take quite a while to get the Virulent Bound back if you don't have multiple survivors infected. So this is good. He definitely needs, he needs his ability to come back sooner. I think leather gloves is a very highly used add-on, so that's why they're giving him part of its effect. The shape. Increase evil within 1 movement speed to 4.4 meters per second was 4.2. Unless he keeps that movement speed, well, let's see. Scratch Mirror decreases evil within 1 movement speed to 4.2. So, okay, so in addition to being able to see survivor auras with this, they've just brought it back down to its original speed. Yeah, I was going to say, unless they keep it when he's using Scratch Mirror, it's not going to do anything. You don't want to be a 110 killer as Myers. You don't. He is weak and bad enough as it is as a 115. You definitely don't want to be a 110. So this is a useless change. This is a meaningless change because you're still going to want to get to tier 2 as quickly as possible. You can't chase survivors around as Myers at 110%. That's just not going to work with a reduced lunge, because when he's within tier 1, his lunge is dramatically reduced. So yeah, you're still going to want to tier up as quickly as possible. This is a worthless change. They should just left it the way it was. Increase maximum stock per survivor to 20 points was 10. So that's good. That means you can stalk survivors more before they are at max stock. So that's definitely a much needed buff. I don't know why his own power. If you have a killer like Ghostface, where he can stalk survivors an unlimited amount of times, versus a killer like Myers, where his own power hinders him once you stalked a survivor for too long. I mean, why does Ghostface get free stealth and essentially the same ability as Myers, but Myers has a weaker version of it? That to me never made any sense. Decrease the amount of evil within required to reach evil within 2 to 3 was 5. Okay, that's a buff. Increase the evil within gain multiplier when stalking from afar to 1 was 0.1. Decrease the evil within gain multiplier when stalking from up close to 0.4 was 1. Yeah, it didn't make any sense that from like the standpoint of the character, lore-wise, he was always stalking in the movie from afar. He didn't go right up to the face of the survivor and be like, "Hey," and then just start staring at them. No. But in this game, he was punished for stalking from afar versus stalking up close. So finally, they've reversed that, it looks like, which is good. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, come on. It would make sense he would gain more stock from stalking from afar than stalking up close. I mean, that's... I never understood why it was he would be punished for stalking from afar. When you watch any of the Halloween movies, he's always stalking from afar. He's never up in the survivors, up in Laurie's face, just looking at her like, "Hey, how's it going?" You know? So yeah, that change makes a lot more sense. Add-ons. Fragrant tuft of hair. Increase the evil within 3 requirement to 20 was 10. So it looks like they're increasing the requirements you'll have to reach unlimited tier 3 and like tombstone piece. They're increasing the amount you have to stalk to gain those effects. Which, I mean, that's fine. Lock of hair. Decrease the evil within 3 requirement to 50% was 100%. Yeah, these are all straight nerfs. And as I said, scratch mirror decreases evil within movement speed 4.2. They should have just left it alone. No one's going to be using evil within 1 to chase and injure survivors. You have a decreased lunge. You're only a 110 and you're an M1. You're at a severe disadvantage when you're trying to chase survivors in tier 1. It's just not practical. So you will still want to get to tier 2 as quickly as possible. This change really does nothing. The other changes are good though. So it's nice that Myers got some love. Killer perk updates. Dominance. The first time each totem in each chest is interacted with by a survivor, that totem or chest is blocked by the entity for 16 seconds was 8 seconds. Okay, that's a buff. Human Greed. You see unopened chest auras and survivor auras are revealed for 3 seconds when they enter an 8-meter range. You also gain the ability to kick chests to close them. This ability has a 20-second cooldown, was 30 seconds. Shouldn't even have a cooldown. It's such a stupid ability. It's another objective for killers that they don't need. Languid Touch. When a survivor within 36 meters of you scares a crow, they gain the exhausted status effect for 10 seconds. This perk has a 5-second cooldown, was 20 seconds. Okay, so there'll be a lot of exhausted survivors if you use that perk. Okay. That's good. Weave Attunement. When any item becomes depleted for the first time each match, it is dropped. You see the auras of dropped items. Survivors within 8 meters of dropped items have their auras revealed to you. Was 12 meters, so that's a nerf. Affected survivors see the item's aura. That's also a nerf. When a survivor picks up a survivor item, they suffer the Oblivious status effect for 30 seconds. Okay. Yeah, we knew Weave Attunement was getting a nerf. I mean, heaven forbid survivors not be clued in as to what's going on. It's like now they can see the dropped items. Just another handout. Yeah. Survivor updates. General. Decrease the time it takes to unlock chests to 8 seconds. Was 10 seconds. Whatever. Survivor perk updates. Ace in the Hole. When retrieving an item from a chest, there's a 100% chance that an ultra rare or lower add-on will be attached to it. Was very rare or lower. A 100% chance of finding an add-on of uncommon rarity or lower. Was 50%. When escaping, you keep any add-ons your item has. Okay. So Ace in the Hole got a bit of a buff. Still kind of worthless. Buckle Up updated the perks description for clarity. Okay. Invocation Weaving Spiders. Description was updated to match the new invocation, Treacherous Crows, but no gameplay change otherwise. Okay. Pharmacy. When injured, Pharmacy activates. Removed. So they should just cross that out. Unlocking chests is 100% faster. Was 8% faster. The hearing distance for noises from unlocking chests reduced by 20 meters. Was 8 meters. Pharmacy guarantees an emergency medkit upon completing the interaction. So now it's active all the time. So, I mean, that's good. Bring a coin offering and get a emergency medkit whenever you unlock a chest. As long as your teammates don't unlock it first, of course, which is very likely to happen. Plunderer's Instinct. The auras of unopened chests and items in the environment are revealed to you when standing within a 64 meters range. Was 32 meters. Okay. Increases the odds of finding higher rarity items from chests by 50%. Was 46%. All right. So, yeah, they got buffed. So far, these are fine. I'm glad they're not touching any of the gen progression perks. Scene Partner activates when you scream. Then the killer's aura is revealed to you for 6 seconds. Was 5 seconds. There's a chance you'll scream again. If you do, see the killer's aura for an additional 2 seconds. And Scene Partner goes on cooldown for 40 seconds. Was 60, so they're going to get this more often. They'll basically have wall hacks more often, which is not good. Like 5 seconds, yeah, in a loop, it is very useful, but I don't like how they'd be getting it more often because it is a wall hack perk. It's It's okay, though. I mean, I don't think it'll be too much of a problem. And then they have a bunch of bug fixes. I'm just going to go through these very quickly. Improve survivor bot locomotion, fix mixing cracks during endgame collapse, fix flowing assets on multiple maps, fix brief bright light when returning the main menu from the store, fix sudden brief bursts of bright light when viewing a Mori, fix occurrences of exit tiles not matching theme maps, fix the visible seam in the exit gates on Ormond Lake Mine, fix pools of blood failed to appear in multiple places in Ormond Lake Mine, fix missing textures on multiple tiles on Ormond Lake Mine. Yeah, they released a new map, and of course, they had tons of bugs. So, fix clipping issue of the bridge in Ormond Lake Mine. Fix collision issues on tunnel stairs, tower scaffold ground, tower tie, Ormond Lake Mine. Fix complex collisions, preventing killer projectile pass-through on the top floor of the Ormond Lake Mine building. Fix issues of camera fade exclusion for Mori update features. Fix an issue in Larry's hospital where the killer cannot grab survivor from one side of the generator. Fix an issue with the collision at Ironworks of Misery. Fix a collision issue on Underground Complex. Fix collision issue on Nostromo. Perks fix an issue cause Hex throw the hunt interaction speed values be incorrect if cleansed before Hex undying. Fix an issue cause the death bomb perk not to be disabled and being grabbed by the killer. Fix an issue cause Hex devour hook gain a token when survivor self unhooks with the deliverance perk. Fix an issue where cinematics can be skipped. Okay, what cinematics? Okay, whatever. Fix a crash that could occur when using a virtual keyboard. Fix an issue with beginner tooltip can be seen overflowing in certain languages. Fix an issue with prestige buttons progress bar isn't reacting accordingly. Blood points balance. Fix the crash that could occur when equipping and unequipping a banner and badge. Fix an issue with the survivor action icon on the player stats is missing after suspecting the killer in a custom game. Fix an issue with the blood splatter effect on the player stats missing in various states. Fix an issue with unnecessary lines appear when opening the event pop-up. Okay. Miscellaneous. Fix an issue where the platform exclusive outfits cannot be seen by our platform players. Fix an issue cause Estri, Yazar, Laura Croft, Trevor Belmont, the Lich, and the Dark Lord prestige outfits unlock in the wrong order. The Wraith is now correctly able to move and attack after doing certain interactions when using the Serpent Suit add-on. I think that one automatically uncloaks the Wraith when they kick a gen or a pallet. I'm not sure. Fix an issue cause killers to be able to spam the Mori interaction. Known issues. The Houndmaster search pad can appear above the ground. I'm sure these will be fixed before the killer goes live, but then a whole new plethora of bugs will be introduced, I'm sure. I'm not going to go through these. I'm not going to play the PTB. The killer looks extremely uninteresting. The survivor looks extremely uninteresting. It's just honestly, yeah, not scary at all. My overall thoughts, not a scary killer at all. No threat. Annoying, obnoxious power when playing survivor. Similar to Pinhead's Chains. Playing as killer, very lackluster, unrewarding. Clown has some competition now in terms of the character model, let's say. But at least Clown is scary. I mean, somewhat. His base kit, look, not really. The newest skin that was released for Clown, very scary. And his power is very threatening. He has one of the best anti-loop powers in the game, I would say. So his power is very threatening. This, not so much. From what I've seen and from what I've read. Yeah, overall thoughts, I don't think they're even trying anymore. I don't know. I would prefer they'd stick with licensed killers, except for the upcoming FNAF chapter. We don't need anything from FNAF. It's a kid's game. It's ridiculous. But we got this versus something like The Thing, which is extremely disappointing. Still waiting for The Thing to be in this game. So that's it. I'll always give my honest opinion, my honest first impressions. And if you appreciate that, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know if the any Chucky players out there. Let me know if these are impactful. Any other like Lich players. Let me know if he needs more nerfs or more buffs. I don't know. Ghostface, I don't play him all that much either. But yeah, be sure to let me know if you have any thoughts about this latest PTB and the latest Killer and Survivor coming out. I'm probably assuming end of November, beginning of December. I would prefer a general health update instead, but that doesn't make them money, so. All right, I will see everyone in the next video.